I find myself resenting my husband because I am the better one at calming our baby down. I am the one who feeds her, and I am the one she wants to go to. Because of this, sometimes I think he assumes that I'm the primary parent and anything he does is quote unquote helping me out. Any tips on how to manage parenthood as a partnership without tallying contributions that first year? Do you want to go first?
Sure. I can absolutely relate to that. And I think at the beginning, I did resent you. We had to talk about it because,
Really?
yeah.
Resenting? This is news.
Well, because you didn't know, because I wasn't communicating it, because as a mom, you tend to just take it all on yourself and think that, oh well, I am the better one at this because I know what the baby needs and the baby's breastfeeding, and so I have this, so it's my thing and it's my job and whatever. And these comments were always interesting to me, or these, like when you would say, okay, I'm gonna go to work, or I'm gonna take a shower. I it I used to resent that because I never, after the baby was born, I never said I'm going to anything. It was always me going like, okay, so I need to take a shower. So do you mind watching the baby? Do you mind if I take a shower? Do you mind if I run to the gym really quick? Do you mind if, and it was, but a part of that was me assuming, and I heard in the question, I think that my husband assumes, and I thought that, and it wasn't until I communicated that to him that he understood where I was, that I was even thinking that in the first place, and that I had to really communicate. This was uncomfortable for me, but I had to communicate to him, I just need you to change the language. Because even if you are going to go, you're going to go to work. There's no, like, you have to be at work. But I need you to say something like, hey, are you okay here with the baby? Because it's half his baby. It's half, so I wanted him to use the same language as I did, because when he did, it made me feel valued, and it made me feel like I wasn't the primary parent. It made me feel like he was thinking about the baby's needs before he stepped out just as much as I was. Even just to take a shower, even just to cook a meal, I needed him to say, hey, are you okay with the baby while I go and do this? And that was a game changer for me and my feelings. But I needed to tell you that. I do remember that.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that the keeping score is never going to work out well, just in general, not even for the first year. I just feel like it's something that we had to learn to do, and I think that we still have to continue to practice on a daily basis, because it's easy to get trapped in, well, I've now done this 5 times, and you're thinking about it because this is the 5th time that you've done it, but it does no good to be able to keep this score in your mind and not share some of those feelings. So,
and as time went on, I think us communicating about it made it so that almost it's like you take the initiative more nowadays, where right now we're homeschooling because we're in a pandemic, and so he takes the initiative to sit down and go, okay, here are what days are better for you to teach them, what days are better for me. I can take one afternoon off, I can't take the whole afternoon off on this day, but he initiates it more, and it's mainly because of that initial uncomfortable on my part communication, because as moms we tend to feel like it's our job all the time, but I need help, not just with the doing, but the thinking about, like, the planning it out. I need help with that. I can't just tell him what the plan is all the time because I'm too exhausted to think of a plan. So I needed to let him know.
But I also think it goes the other way too, where I don't know, I think both partners need to learn to delegate to one another, to lean on one another, because it's not easy to do. And yeah, there's certain things that might be easier for you to even just handle it on your own, right? And this isn't just only for parenting, this happens in life in general. But there's something that's like, oh, you're really good at, and obviously, like when it comes to breastfeeding, or there's a certain bond that a mom has with a child that is different than a bond that a dad has with a child. And it's about being able to trust the other person, relinquish some of that control.
And relinquishing control is hard for moms, so we end up holding on to it, and then that's where the resentment kind of comes in.
And you gotta be able to trust that this partner can handle it, and they might not do it exactly the same way that you do it, they won't.
That's true too,
They
and I had
won't.
to let that part go because I couldn't also micromanage him when he was taking the responsibility. I couldn't say, "Hey, but could you do it like this and could you do it like that?" Because
Yep.
he's dad and he's going to do it dad's way.
Yep. And we're all going to get to the same end goal. We all want the same things in the end. We all want what's best for our kids in the end, and we want to be able to raise our kids together. But yeah, it's just this understanding that, you're going to do it one way, I'm going to do it slightly different. I can't make you do it the way that I would do it. You can't make me do it the way that you would do it. And we've got to find some middle ground. And I think, yeah, I mean, it sounds cliche, but it all really does come down to communication and just being willing to give and to let certain things go. Harboring the animosity isn't gonna help.
And to know that once you pass the baby stage and the changing of the diaper stage and all of that,
It still is hard.
It still is hard because then you have to have those same conversations for school.
Yeah.
And who's the primary person who picks up and drops off, and who's the person who goes to the scheduled conferences, or do we split that up, or can we go together? What are the days we can go to? It continues going on. So even when you found the perfect solution and the perfect communication for one stage, just know that it's going to keep happening, and that it's
constantly
and that's okay.
adjust. You're gonna have
fine.
to constantly adjust, and I think that's good too, right? Because whatever has happened in the past is in the past, and today is a new day, and you can continue to focus on how you want today to go. And I think we're in that too. We're literally in that as we speak.
So I will say that the hope definitely comes in on the mom's part when you can let go a little and when you can have those uncomfortable conversations.